See these scratches right here? That was caused by a garage door. Don't let this happen to you. Today on HandyDadTV, a new version of the Infinity Shield, which is a curtain garage door sensor that protects the entire door, top to bottom. It's way better than the ones that come with your garage door opener, and they came out with a new version, and I'm going to show you how I installed it and tell you some gotchas and things to look out for if you've got two garage doors. Coming up. Now, this is not the first time that I've made a video about the Infinity Shield. I did one a couple years ago when I had a big double wide door. But now I'm in another house and I've got two separate doors with two different garage door openers. In fact, two different brands. And when I tell you this thing is sensitive, I mean it's sensitive. You put anything anywhere along this door, it will block the door and it will cause it to reverse. The door will not close, will not cause any damage to your car or anything else that might be sticking out, whether it be down low or up high. And if you think, oh, well, yeah, sure, that's thick. But what about if something is small? It even works with the handle. I mean, come on, that's really sensitive. It would turn the door around. It doesn't have to beep much. And if you don't like the beeping, that's okay. There's a little switch on the side that I can turn it off and it doesn't beep anymore, but it still reverses the door if there's something blocking it. All right, let's take a first look at the brand new Infinity Shield, new version. The first improvement that I see is, first and foremost, is these lights. They used to be at the bottom or the top, depending upon the orientation, but you couldn't see them from the car. Now they put them in the middle, and you can absolutely tell by visually seeing the light blinking, and you'll see the pattern change when you get in the garage completely. So you really don't need any kind of parking block anymore. In addition, they have changed the sound button to be for the buzzer. It's now a switch on and off. So that's a good improvement too. And the other thing is you'll notice the wires come out of the middle because sometimes you have to turn them over and install them quote unquote upside down. There's really no top or bottom. But what they've done is they've taken what used to be two sets of wires. There was a set at the top and the bottom. And now they put one set of wires in the middle, but made it long enough so that it could reach to connect to your existing garage door opener wires, regardless of which side they're on. Now, one of the other improvements, which is hard to tell, but what you can see here is the receiver. The receiver LEDs have been recessed inside the channel. And that is a useful thing for me, especially because this is the original version here. And you can see this is the receiver now, and they're really on the surface. You can see them sticking out. And one thing you may notice is I've got this really janky piece of cardboard here between them. Well, that's a long story, and I'll explain. But what was happening to me is that I was getting sun interference on the receiver, so I wound up having to put the two receivers in the middle, and that is not a best practice. But now, with the improvement they've made on this one, I shouldn't have to do that anymore. Everything should work fine. Now, the first thing you want to do before replacing your sensors is unplug your garage door openers. In addition, if your opener has a battery backup, make sure you disconnect that too. Now, there is a tiny bit of configuration that has to be done, and all you have to do is take out this little grommet here. That little cover exposes two dip switches, and you can see they are either up for Genie, down for LiftMaster Chamberlain, or mixed up and down for Linear, Marantec, and Guardian. So I actually have one of each. I have a Genie and I also have a LiftMaster. So I'm going to set this one up for the LiftMaster. So I'm going to put these down. Both of those are down. And then I'm going to pop this back on. And this is ready to go. Now in the kit, they give you two different size brackets. This is the standard bracket, and the shorter bracket is obviously a little bit closer. If you've got a tight garage, I suggest you try the shorter bracket first. Otherwise, you could just use the standard bracket. The problem with the shorter bracket is that if there's anything on the door that sticks out, it could interfere and cause your door to reverse when it's closing. And that happened to me because I had this latch on the inside of my garage door. And this little tab right here would break the beam as the door was closing. So I chose to take this off and use the short brackets. But that's a choice that I made. I could have used the longer brackets and kept the latch on the door, and it would have been fine. But again, I've got a pretty tight garage in front of the car, so I want it as much as I can. Now to put them on, all you need to do, it's really simple. So you can see there's two sensors. I put them usually about halfway between the sensors. And what you need to do is have the open side, okay, face the sensors. So, and then you just kind of twist it down and clip it on. And these are adjustable. They could go anywhere along here. So if there's an obstruction or something, you can always move them. But that's where I put them, generally between the two. All right, putting them in, it couldn't be easier. You just take this bracket in this orientation, and it fits right on the track and pops right on. And I put it tight against the ground and do the same thing at the top. And that's it. It's installed. Now, it's real easy to do the electrical connections, but I actually prefer to do it with the electricity turned on. So this is low voltage. You can't get shocked. But there is polarity. So when you connect the wires, just hold them up temporarily. And I'm on the transmitter side first. And the transmitter, if the polarity is correct, the transmitter has a green light on it. And the green light will glow solid green when it is working correctly. And there you go. Solid green. Okay, so now I know this is the orientation. And they give you the little wire nuts that you use just to connect these. Give them a little tug, and everything should be fine. Now when I'm connecting the receiver side, I like to turn the switch on so that I could hear the beeper. And then test the polarity. That's wrong. Obviously it's not working. So try them the opposite way. All right, now I know it's working. This is the right polarity. And just like before, two little wire nuts. Give them a tug. Everything's working great. Now on the receiver, a solid red light means the door is clear, and it blinks and beeps when you block it. And if you don't like the beep, just turn the switch off and just use the light. And because it's this height, you can see it when you're pulling in the garage. Just look out your side view mirror and you can tell if you're in all the way. Now to keep this loose wire from dangling, they give you these Velcro cable ties. And you just stretch it out, put it around the bottom. That keeps it nice and neat. Now the garage door will not close with my tailgate open. Now we're good. Now the best practice when you have two garage doors like I do is to put both transmitters on the inside facing out and the receivers on the outside. What that does is it prevents any kind of interference between the two of them. Now the problem I was having with the old ones and why I needed to have the cardboard here was that a certain time of year the sun sets perfectly over there and just on a couple of days a year at a certain time of day, the sun was coming directly into the receiver over here. As the door was coming down, it would block some of that sunlight. It would interpret that as something's in the way, and therefore it would reverse the door. I couldn't close my garage door, but it was a very rare situation that only happened a certain time of year and a certain time of day. So what I wound up doing was reversing these two, okay? The receiver on the inside. Well, the problem there is that if the receiver's here and the transmitter's there, that transmitter was causing stray light to go to that receiver. and that's why I needed the cardboard in between. But this is such a rare occurrence, depending upon the way my house is facing, that's why I have the problem. But odds are you won't have any problem, especially if you only have one door. If you have one problem with the one door, you just reverse them and everything's fine. But if you have two, you want to put the receivers on the outside and the transmitters on the inside. And remember, the transmitters are the ones with the green lights and the big LED sticking out. The receivers are the ones with the red lights, and the LEDs they're recessed into that channel. All right, you see that sun going down? Well, it is on right here. You can see it's blocking. So it's definitely on the sensor. Now I'm gonna close my door and let's see what happens. Hey, it worked. All right, I'm a little impressed. It worked. Thank God. Now I don't need that stupid cardboard anymore. I will put a link in the video description if you want more information on the Infinity Shield, and I'll also link to my previous video on them as well, so you can see how it's installed on a big door. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below with your thoughts, and I will see you in the next one. Bring it back. Come on, bring it back.